part 2 of the prototype.
That's right. So should we do a introduction?
Yeah.
Welcome everybody. We are the Transparent Cult. This is our prototype 2 of the podcast. I was looking at you when I was talking the whole time.
I don't think it matters.
And here we are.
Yeah,
We'll
the
cover a
transparent
wide
cult.
That's right. We'll cover a wide array of topics from philosophy to history to anime to whatever the hell we feel like talking about. That's right. How are you doing today, Steve?
I'm all right, Jared. And for all of those who are listening, which is currently probably going to be 0 for a long time if this ever gets out, but we are the transparent cult, and you can't say we didn't warn you. We warned you.
Yeah. Well, Stephen, I will say I think we're going to have a few listeners already right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
I've told people about it already.
There you go. It's set in stone.
Yes. Well, Stephen, anything been on your mind lately?
You know, I think we should do some rankings, Jared.
I like that, Stephen. I like that. I like that I will say, when we first were talking about this podcast, and I said, Stephen, there's one thing that I seek out and I can't get enough of it. And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes there's certain, niche things I want to see ranked and I can't find it. So we will provide that.
Provide what the people want.
Yeah, that's right. One thing I will say, Stephen, this is just something I want to talk to you about.
Mm-hmm.
As it's about the Heracles comic book. I was thinking about something, and I didn't do this intentionally, but like how Spider-Man. One of the reasons why Spider-Man is such a beloved character is because people. I heard Stan Lee talk about it. He said like Spider-Man, he represents like a certain like type of person. Like he's nerdy. He's kind of incapable. He's not like an absolute loser, but he's kind of like this guy who's not like physically capable and gets bullied and whatnot from time to time by like Flash Gordon in the series, whatever. And then he becomes Spider-Man, and basically like the costume covers him completely. So like Spider-Man could be like anybody. He could look any way. He could be any race.
Mm-hmm.
Like he could be anything. And one thing I liked about the Heracles, I started thinking about it, is Heracles is just a regular guy, not exceptional, but not I would say a lot of people can kind of relate to just being a person in life, and you have expectations upon you, but you're not really exactly sure where to go, and
Okay.
So Heracles, when he gets his power, I realize I'm kind of like projecting a bit because I feel like him having Diogenes and say Aristotle are like guiding him, like hey, you're not just like floundering in life, like you actually have a duty, a path, and like you have a fate that you must embrace.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like in a sense like all of us, I mean, especially like a lot of, maybe I'm speaking for myself and you and other people I've known. It's like we have like this like duty to take up like this, but like, we're not really sure where to go with it. At least I'm speaking for myself. Like I was talking to
Right.
you before, like, oh, I was an EMT, but like, I don't know what I'm doing. It's like, why should I do this? Why should I do that? And it wasn't until I discovered these great philosophical ideas that I was like, oh my, I understand there is something to aim at. There's something more. There is a virtue outside that you're going for
Mm-hmm.
and a duty, and I guess that's, it wasn't a coincidence that I, have Diogenes and Aristotle as the mentors, and, yeah, just a little thing I want to share with you and Heracles' design, I don't think I've ever told you, he actually wears a full mask too, kind of like Spider-Man. in a sense. So it's like you kind of can project, even though I guess he would be kind of like a, well, I guess he's kind of like a white dude. Like I don't know, he was Greek in my mind, so he's like kind of like a tannish
Yeah,
white dude. Yeah.
that's the origin, right?
Yeah, basically, yeah. Sorry to the blacks, but I guess no. Maybe I shouldn't be saying that. But it's like anybody who's like any white Latino Asian. It's like, oh yeah, I could project myself onto him, unless you're like really black or really pale, I guess. Sorry to the blacks and albinos, but
Yeah.
everybody else can live
Sorry,
vicariously.
Scandinavians.
Yeah, everybody else can live vicariously through Heracles.
Yeah, I think that's a good point of basically, right, you're talking about purpose and duty and a lot of these things, and a lot of people don't know what that path is for them. But it seems to be that whatever sort of skills you have or interest that you're drawn to, like that's what makes sense to pursue, right? I mean, God, I guess we're going everywhere. If we're talking about like dharma in like Hinduism, like this is your duty, and not necessarily like, oh, caste system, you have to do this because you're born here. It's like, no, if this person has warrior skills and abilities, then they should be in the warrior class. If this person has X skills and X abilities, they should be in this class. So I feel like with even your interests, right? You're talking about like these philosophical interests, all of these types of things, you know, those are what is going to push us in certain directions to do. Like if we have Heracles, right? His gift, his skill set is immense strength beyond comprehension. And it's like, well, I guess you could use this strength to like just move rocks and like stuff. And I get that'd be fine. People need houses built. I'll move the timber here, or, we need somebody to go strangle this lion because this lion is killing everybody. So you got to use your strength for that. But I think that is a good point that you bring up of the sense of duty going along with Diogenes and Aristotle. What are their skill sets, right? Their skill sets would be being able to see truths that are out there and then deciphering what must be done with those truths.
Yeah. No, and I like the dichotomy between Diogenes is extreme. It's like we are going to head on, no apology for anything. Like we're like this is what we're doing out in the open. If anybody condemns us, fuck them. Where
Mm-hmm.
Aristotle's kind of like Heracles. We should hold on. We can think about things a little bit. Hold on, let's talk in secret because we don't want anybody seeing us. Oh shoot, did my camera get a little worse?
No, you're good.
Okay, because my power's going down on my phone. But yeah, but then Aristotle's like, okay, you will do good, Heracles, but hold on, let's be strategic about this. Let's be, let's
Mm-hmm.
pick our play, and I don't know, yeah, it's something I think about too, with like the balance versus like just like absolute like living it to the extreme. I feel like a lot of those characters that are that like extreme like they're so like there's something admirable about them. Like I'll use just a silly one off the top of my head, just because he came to mind. Is like Bam Margera.
Mm.
Is like that dude wants to skate. Like that's it.
Right.
Like he's a skater. He's gonna shoot silly videos with his buddies. It's just like, and it's like, are you doing anything else? He's like, nope. This is what I do. Just like this is who I am. I like to skate. I like to fuck around with my friends. That's it. It's like kind of like whoa. I mean like I guess you could kind of criticize him. He's just like he's not a very balanced fella, but he definitely is doing what he wanted to do and what he was talented at.
Right.
But yeah, just a random person I thought of that embodies that sort of extreme nature. You
Mm-hmm.
know, yeah, but yeah, no, I was really thinking about that, and I was thinking about something that I've actually a character that I like, but I didn't like what they did in the movie is Captain America. So
Okay.
Captain America. Okay, so this is what I thought was so cool about Captain America when I was younger was that dude he gets picked in the program to be a super soldier, he gets picked with a bunch of guys. It's not just he and he actually ends up surviving. They all die somehow. I kind of forget how that goes, but the thing that I thought was so beautiful about that is Captain America isn't like exceptional, but he's not like some loser. He's just a soldier, like a guy who's like, I'm gonna join the military, like here I am,
Right.
just like yeah. And then so I thought the message was like any one of us, like you, me, anybody, as long as we have like that, like we're gonna dedicate ourselves to saving America or whatever. It's like we could become Captain America given the right circumstance. But then the movie, they're like, let's make him this skinny little pathetic guy, and he's just like, oh, I can't do anything, but I'm really courageous. I was like, fuck that, dude. Like, I thought it was kind of cool that he's just he's just a regular guy, and maybe
Yeah.
that's what I'm doing with Heracles too. It's like he is like he is what a lot of us feel like. It's like he doesn't have to be necessarily like, oh, he's an extreme loser, he sucks. It's just like, no, he's the guy who's going through life, who's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like I'm just going like what is my purpose? Like I don't know. Like where's my direction?
Right.
And then fate chance, he meets the madman, the ma- the insane Socrates he meets, and
Hmm.
everything changes.
Would
But
you, based upon your knowledge of like Aristotle's writings, would you kind of put him in that more category of like that cautious figure?
yeah, I would think so. Yeah, he seems yeah, like his whole philosophy on ethics is he's the one who brought like the idea of like a balance like he started to like dissect what virtue is, because he gets it straight from Plato, of course. And he says like, what is courage exactly? And he says courage is actually like this balance. It's a balance between cowardice and foolhardiness. So it's like one extreme is bad, so it's like you linger in this balance, and like that's what you're always seeking, this like middle ground.
Hmm.
And so yeah, so even though if you really strip it down, I feel like Diogenes and Aristotle, they have like the same value. It's just like different methods, like completely different methods. Like they would both
Right.
agree, like you must be just. It's like, yeah, of course you do. And like, but they might like have different, like for example, how I want to do in the comic book, like doing justice is like, dude, not abiding by the laws of the land or whatever. It's like you do the right thing no matter what. Like if you have to, like get down and they're like, do not cross this caution line. He's like, fuck that. We're going right through. We're fight the Hydra, baby. Whereas like Aristotle would be like, all right, we have to do this, but you have to take into account the situation, who's watching, what's going on. Is this the smartest thing to do? Maybe we should like, plan things out a little bit. And then like I feel like Dodging is just like, we if they want to crucify us, let them. Let them. That's their sin. We're not
Hmm.
sinners. They are. You know what I mean? And like, I think Aristotle would have like, oh, like, hold on, let's think about this a little bit. You know, let's have a little bit of prudence with this. I think prudence
Yeah.
is big with Aristotle. Whereas I actually had this fake conversation in my head of Aristotle and Diogenes. They were debating about prudence, and Aristotle's talking, because I say prudence every day,
Hmm.
and and Aristotle's like, prudence is very important. Like you must assess things, you must strategize. Like that's how you actually maximize like things in your life, by that prudence. And then Diogenes is like, prudence, I spit on prudence. That's
Hmm.
just a coward. That looks like cowardice to me. You know what I mean?
And then for
He's
the
like,
people at home, Jared, could you describe prudence?
prudence is a measurement. It's essentially, how I break it down is like proper timing. Like you don't like you think it's strategizing. It's thinking about things beforehand. And a perfect expression is, um, a smart man knows what to say. A wise man, or a prudent man in this case, knows if and when to say it.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's like a pick your battles wisely. That yeah, yeah. I know I didn't give a definition. I gave examples and a little bit of my interpretation of prudence, but that's how I look at prudence is a careful consideration of things before action. Whereas I think Diogenes would be like, why? Because if I die today and I did the right thing, good. Like, what does it matter? Like death, life and death, whatever. Like I was good, so I did my duty. Like I did my, I think that's what Diogenes. He'd be like, if we die today, if the gods decide we died today, was I good? That's all that matters. Like that's how I
Yeah.
think Diogenes would take it. I think that would be his interpretation. I don't think he likes prudence too much, probably.
No, I think that's interesting because you could have, like you were saying, the thing of dying the day. I'd rather just say the right thing at the time that it comes to me, I guess, rather than waiting for, oh, I'm going to put it in this sort of situation, even though that situation may never actually arise. I'm just going to put that truth or that wisdom out there, and everything else be damned. I don't really care if it's the wrong timing or anything.
Yeah, maybe Diogenes would say something. There is no such thing as wrong timing. Like this is our lives. We're alive. Like I'm alive now, so I'm gonna maximize virtue right now. Like I'm gonna do my nature. I'm gonna do what's right, and that's it. Like try and stop me. If you stop me, that's your fault. That's like I got nothing to do with that. You know.
All I control is myself.
Yeah, and then Aristotle was like, "This guy is a fucking insane moron." He doesn't even think Diogenes is like clever. He's just like, "This guy's an idiot." But you know, hey, I don't know. I like Diogenes. I think he's so cool.
Oh yeah, he's for sure got his place in the world of philosophers, for sure. And when you were talking about how they pretty much probably have very similar, I guess you could say, morals, ideas of truth. Because the way I always thought of it, not saying that Aristotle is like a strict Stoic, but I'm assuming he's probably got Stoic principles and thoughts.
I think the Stoics took a lot from Aristotle. Absolutely, yeah,
So, I always thought of it as Stoicism and Cynicism were just opposite sides of the same coin, essentially. Just
yeah,
one is gloves off, and then the other is like handle with care, kind of.
yeah. Yeah, no, that's actually. I mean, I actually even like wrote about that a little bit back in when I was in the philosophy program. I wrote about that exact like um, like difference between the two. Yeah, yeah, but yeah, I think Aristotle might even be more measured than the Stoics in a sense. Perhaps I'd have to
How
read a little.
so?
It just he feels like so incredibly like 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 I don't know if he has that same admiration for nature that the Stoics have, like that like because like the Stoics almost worship nature like a divine force, like our reality is like of the divine. It's like and it's like I don't think Aristotle. I think that's why everybody kind of likes him because like on every end, you could almost like relate to him in a sense, and because like I know Aristotle has this concept of God, the immovable mover in which all things flow. But he doesn't like worship God. He doesn't like pray to God. He's just like, oh yeah, everything comes from this force, this like consciousness. But then he's like, all right, well, I mean, but it's like more like a scientific take. It's more it's absurd. I mean, we know this now, even though Aristotle did not have this knowledge. I mean, he probably did. But he couldn't prove it through a scientific method. But it's like we know that like matter cannot be created nor destroyed. You know, so it's like, or yeah, so you can't yeah. So it's like it just gets converted to a different you know,
Like it's transferred.
and it gets transferred. That's it.
Yeah.
And so you can't just like have things that came from nothing. Like that's an absurdity. That's like a scientific absurdity. So I think Aristotle, he sees reality and he sees material, and he's like, well, this has to come. Like this can't just like just all of a sudden like it must come from something. Like I like it can't just like, oh, here's an accident, like an apple's like you come home and there's like an apple on your table. It's like
Hmm.
somebody put it there, a tree grew and then it dropped. So, like it has to come from something, you know.
It didn't
And
just appear out of nothing.
yeah, like if I came home, I was like, hey, there's a apple on my table, and you're like, well, it just the universe is just a cosmic accident, and then it happened. It's like, oh, that's kind of silly. It has to come from something, and you can decide what that is. I don't know. Like I guess according to the scientific consensus today, there's a one cosmic accident, the Big Bang, or not, happenstance, and then all things came from that,
Hmm.
and it's all, nobody really knows what that is, but I think
It's a very
Aristotle would
big
say,
cosmic incident.
yeah, yeah, I think Aristotle would say like, all right, well, that is the immovable mover then, like you guys identified that, call it
Mm.
the Big Bang, call it whatever you want to call it, but he's not really like we must worship the immovable mover. We must give sacrifice. Like I
Mm.
think to the immovable mover. I think he'd be like, "That's silly. You don't do that. You just live your life virtuously, and that's it. That's what we're here to do. So in that sense, you could say he's maybe more grounded than the Stoics, perhaps. But I don't know. I'm not saying grounded isn't a good thing or a bad thing because you have the famous painting. But was it how Raphael painted it? It's in the Vatican City, the School of Athens. With all
Mm.
the different
Yeah.
philosophers, and in the center you have Plato's pointing up, and then Aristotle's doing like this gesture. So it's like basically like Plato is concerned with the divine, and
Mm.
Aristotle's more scientifically minded. He's more grounded. He's like he's not so concerned with the divine. He's more concerned with our reality, like the metaphysics of our reality, and that's kind of all he really cares about.
Hmm.
I think that's where he kind of shifted from Plato. He's like, all right, I'll give it to you. There's something out there, like some sort of like immovable mover, and I'll
Formless.
acknowledge that.
Those
But it's like,
ideas.
yeah, but he's like, I'm not like really considering it too much. Whereas Plato, he wrote extensively about the divine later on in life.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And you mentioned nature. Um, I think you were saying the Stoics have a great reverence for nature.
yeah.
What do you think? Just defining nature. What do you think that is?
Oh boy. I mean, I think I probably have a very similar. I would assume a similar take to the Stoics, although I've never thought about it until just this moment. Um, I I think I think nature, as in like literally like the fabric of reality and all the life that forms, from the trees to the to us human beings to everything. I think that it was all decided. It's like
Mm.
it was consciously decided by a divine force, a divine hand, and it will always be. And there's no escaping the construct of our reality of nature, and we must like acknowledge that. And I think that's important, like the structure of nature, and like the sheer force of it, and the fact that we're caught in it, and there's like no escape. Like there's really no escaping our fate. Like
Hmm.
like, and I think that's kind of a line. I would assume that's very. I mean, I'm probably influenced by the Stoics, and not even like I'm kind of like talking like, oh, this is my idea. I probably took it from them, in all reality, you
Right.
know. Yeah, because like I think it's Epictetus has the analogy of like you're like a dog chained to a cart, and the cart is rolling, and you can fight it or you can walk with it. That's your
Mm.
decision, but you're going, and like that's like you have to understand like that like nature is this divine hand, and it's this super like powerful force, and you have to like you don't fight against it, you live harmoniously with it, you understand it, it's the beauty of it, the structure, the complexity. I would assume that's the Stoic take, and I probably just copied them without even realizing it.
Well, I mean, when you go all across, I mean, the dog and the cart thing, just what popped in my mind would be Taoism and the river flow, right? You either go with the river flow or you go against the river flow.
Dude, because yeah, well, that started to trip me out, man. When I started to realize like these concepts, these ideas, like they're almost as true as like the wood in which I'm touching. It's
Mm.
like they're constants, and it doesn't matter if it's Taoism, it doesn't matter if it's Stoicism. They recognize a truth, and it's like, yeah, no, that is the truth of a reality, or like you know, living virtuously or living your dharma, whatever you want to call it. You can call it whatever you want. It doesn't really matter. It just is. Like it will always be found. If Buddhism, like every single Buddhist got wiped off the earth and all the ideas got destroyed. No one, we started over. There would be Stoics in the future. There would be Buddhists in the future.
Mm.
They're going to come because Siddhartha discovered some truths about what is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and like Plato too, or Socrates, I guess gets a lot, probably most of the credit. Probably he should give, but yeah, he just figured out like these are truths. Idealistic truths, and they're not like created. They're actually just found.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the reason I brought up the nature part is because I feel like with a lot of people, if we say nature, it's like, oh, we just revere trees and grass and animals and stuff like that. But like, you're talking about the fabric of how our world like functions
Yeah,
more so.
more so. But I think there's also like a reverence for nature, just straight up nature, like a damn hippie.
Mm.
Because like like what is it? Like Marcus Aurelius, the fucking emperor of Rome. He's like, what did he say? He's like, wherever I lay my head is my home.
Mm.
Like if I'm on a grass, like it's like this is my home. Like you don't think of it as like, oh, I have to be in my palace and my silk sheets. That's home, and I'm only comfortable there. It's like no, no, like you lay your head in a meadow, and that's your home,
Mm-hmm.
and you should see it like that. That's why we went camping in the desert, Stephen.
That's why we
To
did.
get yeah, yeah. I should have been doing that a lot more, buddy. That's I mean, you see it on my list. I sent you my list, and that was
Mm-hmm.
that was on it. If I don't get to that, I'm gonna be upset at myself. There's a few
Mm-hmm.
things. Yeah,
Yeah, I've started developing a list of my own of just things I want to do daily and then things that I want to do weekly and so on. And I think that's good for just framing it and then also putting it in kind of like a checklist form because people I feel like we really like to see progression in things and then we get like a little psychological kick when we check things off of a list.
yeah. I mean, I don't think that psychological kick. I think it's yeah. It's we feel it for a good reason. Because one thing I was thinking about is like that list I sent you. Like if pretty much every moment in my life, if I'm not moving ahead in one of those categories, it's like I'm kind of not living my dharma. you know?
Mm.
Yeah. Or I'm not. Hercules has to go battle the giant monsters. I'm not battling my monsters if I'm not moving ahead in each
Mm-hmm.
one of those. And yeah, like if I'm doing something else, like it's okay. From time to time to take a break and scroll Instagram or whatever. But
Mm-hmm.
essentially, if I did that for an hour, that was an hour that I was not, you know, doing what matters to me and what I think is my time best spent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's also just like you talked about, whether it be scrolling Instagram or anything like that. It always feels worse when it's self-inflicted. If there was an outside event that we had to take care of and we couldn't accomplish this goal because I had to go help this person do this or anything like that. But when it's, yeah, I didn't do that goal because I was just dicking around and I just never got to it. And I feel like that feels worse.
fuck yeah. Story of my life, Stephen.
I imagine a lot of people's as well. I imagine.
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Yeah. No, and it's good to write down because then you could just see it because, it's just like, it's just staring back at you. It's like, all right, well, time to do the podcast, man. Time to
Time to
get
do
to
the
work.
podcast.
Yeah, time to train. Time to work on this. Time to learn. Just, I mean, it's amazing too. I was telling my friend this actually. I was telling him I was like saying how I forget. I don't know. Sometimes I just rant at people, and so I'm ranting at my friend. And I was telling him I was saying like everything that you do, you know, in your mind, it's like, oh, that's like a simple thing, but it usually it requires like time and effort, like maybe more time and more effort than you initially think, you know, and like each one of those things that I have circled or that I showed you, it's like none of those things are just like overnight things. They're all like they take dedication and they're rigorous, they're like
Hmm.
rigorous time and effort, I mean, they're enjoyable. Like obviously, I chose them because I actually genuinely enjoy them all. But it's like they're not easy, really.
Hmm.
Yeah. But Dodges would say, "So what, man? Yeah, you're good. Like that's the nature, right? Like things are
Hmm.
naturally not easy. That's the design. Embrace it. Aristotle would probably say something like that too. He'd say, "Practice your fortitude."
Exactly. And just kind of like what I was describing to you earlier about, oh, okay, well, make the YouTube channel, make this, make that, make that. Kind of like the way I described it to you is like I catch this like lightning, and then it's just that motivation, to do this, this, and this. And I need to really develop a way in order to initiate that at will. I feel like, instead of just, I need to find out, what are the circumstances that make it so I feel motivated and I capture that lightning, to do X, Y, and Z. In even in those moments where I feel like I don't feel like doing any of that, but I feel like that's going to be a goal of mine.
Yeah, there's times I shut down, and the only thing I want to do, like if I could, I just like wrap myself in a cocoon and like go to sleep for a week. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that. Like I wish I could just go to sleep and dream for a week straight and just be cocooned up. Like
Hmm.
that's where I want to be. And yeah, no, that's also a lot of the virtues that I meditate on, and I mentioned to you is like with that courage, with that fortitude, with that diligence, especially like those top three. It's funny because like they're like probably the least important, but they're like the most important simultaneously, if that makes sense. Like,
Hmm.
well, that didn't make any sense probably, but but like I think I start with I don't know. I think they're well. I guess I'm sharing my. Fuck it. We're sharing. Um, like I tell you to start with humility, gratitude, and patience, and like those three. And it's like if you think of somebody who's very humble, who's very gratitude, who's very patient, you think like, well, what are they really accomplishing in life? But in a sense, like if you are truly a humble, grateful, patient person, like you're good. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like you're humble, you know your place, you're grateful for everything and everything you have or don't have, or hardships, whatever, and you're patient. Like you don't allow things. And when I say patient, I don't just mean like, oh, I can wait a long time and I'm cool. I mean like the like all the bullshit in life, all the despair, all the fucking people who antagonize you, you don't allow them to affect you. Like
Right.
you're like that's all happening, but I'm at peace. Like that. Like that's like a true patience. Like not just like oh
Hmm.
I can sit and wait. It's like nah. Like I don't mean that by patience. I mean like the true essence of the great virtue, which is patience. Like, and I think about it as anger a lot because I mean I get it straight from Seneca. It's like you can be risen to anger all the time. Like just but I tell myself like drown your anger. Drown it. And yeah, but those three, if you have those three, it's like, are you really accomplishing much? Like, I don't know. Well, yeah, no, I think you're accomplishing life, but you're probably not like, I guess, like in a conventional sense of like, what are you getting done? Are you finishing things? But with the other virtues, if you're courageous, you have fortitude and you have diligence, motherfucker. Like dude, you're gonna rule the world, bro. Like that's Alexander the Great. Like I don't know how patient he was. I heard he's kind of an angry. Like I think he had like kind of rage fits, you know. And I don't know how humble he was, but goddamn, was he courageous? Was he diligent? You know,
Mm-hmm.
and like with those three, you could like conquer the world. And you know, they're very proactive. But I would argue like humility, gratitude, and patience are actually the more valuable of the virtues. You know, even though
Mm-hmm.
somebody in my like, I'll just take Conor McGregor. He's courageous. He has fortitude. He's diligent. Like no doubt, he has those three. And I think I've actually watched some interviews with him recently. I think he's recognized his lack of humility, his lack of gratitude, and
Mm.
he's actually like turning around. Like I watched an interview with him, and he realized like, oh, like I was lacking in the things that the even more valuable virtues. Even though he had those other three like in spades. More than
Right.
most people. Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I start with those and I end with the three, even though those three, you probably conquer the world with those three alone. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I mean, Conor McGregor conquered the lightweight division and the featherweight division with those three
He
alone.
conquered the UFC, man.
Yeah, really. Yeah, he did. Yeah, with those
And
those.
maybe that maybe it's all just ebbs and flows. Well, I mean, because we could take it a few ways. We're over here acting like we're friends with Conor McGregor and we talk to him on a regular basis.
I'm
But
gonna hit him up.
do it, please. Um, Maybe that lack of humility led to his. Well, we'll take the overall character, right? His persona that he's doing. I like to take this opportunity to apologize to absolutely
That was,
nobody, and those types of things, but I guess that could be separated into showmanship versus, whatever humility in a real world sense, when the cameras aren't rolling and things like that. Who knows, right? But from what you're describing, it sounds like he recognized that he was lacking that. But then maybe if he had more of that, maybe he wouldn't be the mega superstar that he actually became to be, right? But then again, this may be all a weird form of prudence. Of now is the time to exercise my humility, going through this,
yeah,
But I like
yeah.
when you're mentioning. Oh, go ahead.
No, no, no. Go ahead. No, no. I'm just listening. Sorry.
I'm just thinking of the virtues that we were talking about, and I can't remember who said it, but it felt like courage was the one that enables them all to do,
Yeah,
and then so maybe by default, I don't want to say that's the more important one, but that is like the keystone of all the virtues.
I've thought about that quite a bit. That's very, very stoic. Yeah. The four major ones, and the courage is like on top. It goes courage, um, courage, justice. No, courage, wisdom, justice, temperance. Like those are like the four golden ones, and I think it's that order: courage, wisdom, justice, temperance.
What is
So
temperance?
is like a mastery of yourself.
Mm.
Yeah, like a mastery of your appetites, impulses. Like yeah, it's self mastery, and that's really big on the Stoics. While I literally have nicotine in my mouth right now.
In due
Not
time,
this
Jared.
nicotine. That is not very temperate at all.
No.
Although I practice temperance in other ways,
Mm-hmm.
and I will admit I did pray earlier on it. I kind of I said to God, I said, all right, God, I know I'm being a piece of shit, but I promise I will try. I will try. And I'm not,
Mm-hmm.
and I said I will try. I did not say I will succeed. I said, I
Right.
promise I will try. Yeah, that's what I said. That was today, actually. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And I feel like with a lot of those terms, we kind of have one image in mind. You know, if we talk about courage, being courageous, we kind of think of, Alexander leading his cavalry in person, going along doing those things. And that may be an extreme form of courage for sure. But just those little pieces of courage, the thing that makes a person get out of bed, like, okay, I have to do these tasks. Courage to practice patience, I guess, and how courage can be just implemented in all these different ways, even though they're not you leading a giant group of cavalry into battle.
You're absolutely right, man. What is it? Sorry, I always get Marcus Aurelius and Seneca mixed up, but even to live can be a great act of courage.
Mm,
That's a saying. Like even living, facing life itself is courageous in its own. You are at yeah. So it's simple. Like we could talk about all the different, like hey, calling that person like you're not afraid of it. Like I'm not afraid to fight, fight that person, but maybe you're like, I don't know, I don't want to feel like I'm, like somebody you feel like you should need to talk to, you need to reach out to, and it's like, but what if they don't want to talk, and I don't know, I don't what about I don't like this about whatever, it's like no, fuck it, you're supposed to talk to that person, so you reach out or going to a job interview or sending out an application, that's all
hmm.
courage, but even to live is courageous.
Yeah,
Yeah. So,
most definitely.
yep. Yeah. So, yeah.
Out of the virtues we've been talking about, which do you feel like you wish you had more of?
You know what? The courage thing is it's funny. Courage is kind of tricky because I think of myself as courageous. I'm like, I'm not fucking scared of shit. But then and I like I'll fucking stand when I need to stand. Like I tell myself that and I actually believe it. I'm not just like talking shit. But like
Dude,
I
you almost fought
recognize
that guy in the subway defending that lady.
did I? When did
Wasn't there like
that?
a lady with her kid?
Oh yeah, yeah. No, that was in a parking lot. Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, no, I did. Yeah, I was like, no, yeah, um, yeah, no, I think I'm even like, I don't know, I'm even more courageous now than even back then. But then I noticed myself being cowardly in like secret, in like little like not secret, but like in like I'm like slyly like cowardly. Like, for example, like I know I'm supposed to be sending in applications, but it's like I'll get to it. And it's like I'm not scared. I'm not fucking scared. But it's like but why aren't you doing it? It's like, no, you are scared of being uncomfortable. You are scared of what will happen. So it's like your procrastination is your cowardice,
Yeah.
and it's like, oh fuck, I'm being a coward. So it's like I noticed that like I'm cowardly in like kind of like deceptive ways, and I'm like, oh shit, like I'm being cowardly, and I don't even recognize. I wasn't even like it was so like my cowardice was, or I won't say my courage was sly because my courage is very it's very evident, but my cowardice is like that the little demon, if you will, of cowardice. If you were to like personify it as like a little demon, it's like he's like I'm making you a coward, but like you don't even realize you're being a coward, and that's something I've like realized I'm like, oh fuck, I actually am being a coward, and yeah, so I mean, so I wish I was more courageous in like little ways,
Yeah.
but I'm working on that. And but of all the virtues, which one do I wish I had more of? You can't go wrong with wisdom, man.
Mm.
Like I feel like I would like to be far wiser than I am, have a far greater understanding of myself, others, the world, just everything. Um, Not just know it, but like truly understand it. Um, I'm kind of struggling with temperance lately.
Hmm.
I will say it actually. What's funny is like this nicotine addiction that I've developed. It actually has been fucking with me because it's like strong. It's actually pretty strong in me. Like today, I was done. I was like, okay. I literally went and bought Red Bulls because I'm like, I'm just gonna drink Red Bulls. That's bad, but that's fine. And then after
It's
I
better
drank the
than
Red Bull,
this. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. But then I was like, you know what? Fuck, this will be the last one. And I literally went on like, this is the last one.
Hmm.
Trust me. But that's what I said about the last one. That's what I said about the one before that.
Right.
It's like, fuck. So I have been struggling with temperance. And I feel like, even though it's not a big deal, like somebody be like, dude, people have fucking heroin addictions, bro. And you're talking like, oh, you're an addict. Shut the fuck up. But it's like, in all actuality, like it kind of it kind of goes against like what I champion. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Right.
I'm like, dude, I'm the guy who's like, I'm telling you, I'm like, do the workout no matter what. Like, master yourself. Fucking, I do
Hmm.
cold showers every day. I fucking do this every day. Like, that's who I am. I'm a temperate man. But it's like, but am I? But am I really? So
Right.
I have been struggling with temperance a bit, and yeah, and yeah. What else? Yeah. So wisdom. I wish I had more in spades, and that just takes dedication, study, and an open mind. And oh, okay. I'll give you the one that I wish I had more:
Hmm.
diligence.
Diligence. Okay.
Yeah, because like how we are saying earlier, like that list I wrote down, like these are the things of my life I want to improve upon. That requires constant action in
Mm.
those. And I would be and the antithesis of diligence, or like if you put as virtue versus vice, you know, diligence, its opposite is sloth,
Right.
laziness, and I can be one lazy motherfucker, man.
I'm
Yeah,
scared of how much of a sloth that I can be. I'm really scared of that.
dude, one of the seven deadly sins, my friend.
I mean, there have been days, man, where I, go a whole day and I don't even get out of bed. It's kind of scary sometimes, you know.
Oh yes, Stephen, I've been there. I've been there, and sloth is tricky too because I've had days where I'll be like working. I remember back in COVID, I'd do deliveries, and then I'd come back home. I'd work from home, and every single waking moment that I was home, I was in Hyrule Kingdom playing Zelda. like
Yeah.
like literally like every moment, like no workout, no learning anything, no fucking improving anywhere. Not even like talking to friends and family, which is a good thing to do. Just I'm in
Yeah.
fucking Zelda, baby. Like that's all I did. And then once I was done with like 8 hours of work, I was like, until I went to sleep, till like 3 in the morning, Zelda, baby. Here we go.
Yeah.
Which was fun as hell, mind you. Very very fun. But at the end,
Yeah.
I'm
We're
kind
not
of
saying these
like,
things aren't fun. They're just very simple pleasures that don't really give anything beyond that.
I've said this before, and I'll say it right now. From what I can tell, video games are like the best of the bad.
Mm,
Like of all the bad things you
yeah.
could do, like you know, like
Quote
spending
unquote
your
bad. These aren't bad things. Right.
No, I'm gonna say these things are bad. I
Okay.
will say
Yeah.
like these are categorically bad in my opinion. If you're like Jared, I'm fucking spending all this money going hookers, or like Jared, I'm a drug addict, I'm just fucking smoking meth, or like I'm just spending like money on like fucking nonsense, or if you're a good gambler, I guess that would be a kind of a gray area. But most people aren't good gamblers, and they just gamble all their money away. So if like of all the things that I see are like commonplace that are like, damn, that is a bad habit. I think video games. It's like I'd put it like video game addiction in the bad category, but it's like if you're gonna have a vice, that's probably the best of the bad, in my
It's
opinion.
probably the best of the bad. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I guess the disadvantage is financially be having to buy games or consoles. I got fireworks going on.
Oh,
But no, dude, I feel very similar in that dude, I feel like I was addicted to weed. Like I think like I actually was. And even though you're saying, oh, some people are addicted to heroin and everything, I always think of, I think it was from Marcus Aurelius when he was talking about, like a child who's weeping because they lost their toy or their toy broke, and then someone comments like, what do you, it's just a toy, like, whatever. And then it's like, but aren't the child's tears and feelings real? Like, aren't they real? So it's kind of like, I guess, no matter how grand or anything like that can be, like I got all these fireworks going on in the background and I'm not even phased at all. But then in other countries, you hear loud booms, and you're like, uh-oh, like stuff is going down now, Like maybe your heroin addiction doesn't seem that bad when my village is getting bombed out, Maybe you're in the
Yeah.
actual good position compared to what I'm in, But everybody, who was it? Was it Plato? You would know more than me, but he said, be kind to everyone, for you don't know what battles they're facing.
That's right. That's Plato. Yeah.
So no matter how big or small we can compare our woes, they're nonetheless still our woes and things that we have to deal with.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, really quick, a message from our sponsors is we don't have any sponsors.
Not yet. We're open. We're open for business.
Condom Depot, Fleshlight.
Send them over. OnlyFans. We'll advertise
Oh,
here. I don't care.
we're talking about virtue. We're just like, let's go to the most.
Most deprived things.
Yes.
Zins. Coors Light. Come on
Sponsored
over.
by Zins. I'm like, I was Coors Light. We're just sponsored by a bunch of like fucking alcohol, nicotine companies. Heroin.com. Buy heroin off the web.com.
Get your copy of the Alchemist cookbook right over here. Or what was the Anarchist cookbook? Get your Anarchist cookbook right over here.
Oh yeah, I remember that book. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, if we do have sponsors, it'll be things that we partake in that we like. And I do like Zins, but I definitely don't want them to sponsor us. Although if they give us a lot of money, we're open.
I don't
Maybe,
really. Yeah, I don't know.
maybe, no. Well, yeah, definitely, probably not. I'm gonna try to do some mental gymnastics, and I'm like, well, hold on here. It actually helps with tobacco addiction. If you're addicted to tobacco, which is proven to be cancerous, Zins are No, but that's a bunch of nonsense.
Yeah, just my apprehension was I don't think we're in a position to be choosy. At this
That's true
point,
too.
so we may have to take what comes.
We're whores if you give us
Right.
money for what
Amen.
we do.
We'll sell our souls down the river, Jared.
Oh, jeez. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long do you think we've been talking for?
We're at 53 minutes now.
Yeah. Feels like we've been talking for like 20 minutes to me.
I feel
Yeah.
like that's normally how our conversations go. We'll look down and it's been 2.5 hours or so.
Yeah, dude, I sent you a voice memo, I think like yesterday, and I was like, I thought I was just like, just like, oh, let me just tell him like some quick things. And I looked, it was like almost like 4 minutes long or something. Like, what the hell? I've been talking for like 4 minutes. Like, what the hell's going on?
Well, I don't always think that's a bad thing. I think it's better than the opposite. If we were talking for, you know, we're like, oh my gosh, this conversation's been an hour and it's been like 12 minutes. Be like, oh,
Yeah. I will warn you, my phone, it gave me an alert. It said 10%, like maybe 10 minutes ago. So I don't know how quickly this eats up my battery. I mean, I could actually put the charger on. What am I doing? I can put the charger on right now.
there you go.
If it reaches. Oh, I'll have to get a longer charger.
You see, everybody, this is just the prototype podcast. We're over here. We're figuring it out, trying everything out.
That's right. Yeah.
We just decided 10 minutes ago where we're going to be. So,
Yeah. Yeah. No, if this sounds good, I'm okay keeping this audio for a little bit, unless I listen to it and I think, man, I really need to up the audio game. Yeah,
sounds
but
good on my end.
yeah, the camera's good on this Pro Max.
Yeah.
It's really good. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Before we go, let's do a tier list.
Yeah. we're gonna go. Well, philosophy's been our theme, Jared. I think we should go with the philosophers.
Okay. All right. Are you gonna throw it at me?
I'll throw it at you. You're usually the good responder. Are we just doing the regular?
No, no. Throw any. You could even throw anybody, like politicians. You can throw like I don't know, like comedians. You could, and of course you can go like classic known philosophers.
Yeah. Well, are we going to compare them to Dragon Ball Z characters? Do you think?
We're doing all three.
Let's do
So
it.
okay. Oh, sorry. So for the listener, this is how it goes. One, we give a tier list, and this is how it goes. S tier is a well. Hold on. Let's go. I'll start with it. We'll go A tier. Excellent, great, superb, highly recommended. B tier, good, definitely good. A little bit of flawed, but good, definitely good. C, okay, they're okay. Not good, not bad, just okay. D, they have some qualities that is like okay, it's worthwhile, but mainly they're not so good. F, we don't even have to bother with them. It's ridiculous. And then there's a special above A tier that is reserved for the best of the best, just above and beyond exceptional, just a tier that is just like they're unbelievable, like unbelievable. That's S tier. The champions among champions, and that's how the tier system goes. And then we compare each one to a Dragon Ball Z character, which is silly, but we'll make it work. It'll make sense. It always does make sense in
It
some
always
way.
does.
And then we're following the what's his name? The Alex Jones retard vampire. The meme or what would you call it? Like a meme? Would it be a
Yeah.
meme?
I guess. I
Yeah.
guess at this point it's a meme. It's being used as a meme.
Nationalist, patriot, next level. Moses,
A scared man.
a scared man, eugenicist.
All right. So we'll go ahead and we'll throw out the one that actually never wrote anything down. We'll go ahead with Socrates.
I'm tempted. I'm tempted to do it right off the bat.
A
I'm
scared
tempted.
man off the bat?
No. I'm
Okay,
going
okay.
tier. We're going tier. We're going
Okay.
tier. Okay,
You
okay,
thinking
okay.
S
Hold on.
right off the bat?
Hold on. Let's talk about him for a second, and then
Yeah.
I'll categorize him. The man that started it all, essentially. Of course, there was everybody else, and then there was Socrates. Like that's really how it is. The great thinkers, great. Don't get me wrong. Brilliant philosophers before him, intriguing characters, but you can that expression. There was everything, and then there was this. That applies to Socrates. There's everything else, and then there was Socrates. Just like as monumental as a character gets in his contribution to philosophy, but couldn't have done it without help. So that is, yeah, I will. You have to take note of that. Couldn't have, yeah, couldn't have done it without some serious help from his boy.
I mean, literally though,
Brilliant.
there's the pre-Socratic time and then the post-Socratic time. Like
Exactly. Yeah, it's like that's it. Yeah.
it's like
Oh my
before Jesus and
goodness.
after Jesus.
Just yeah, just laid it down. Went to war with the sophist. We're still at war with the sophist, and
Can you
just
explain
went.
who the sophists are for the people, Jared?
Okay, okay. I will explain the sophists and their sophistry. Is the sophists is they were philosophers or intellectual types, teachers really, and what they would do is for money they would teach the people rhetorical skills, and they didn't really have an idea of good or bad, or I guess good would be whatever benefits you. So it's like, they use like wordplay to gain the upper hand in situations. It was kind of like power, like for power, not power for power's sake necessarily, but it's like
Like
very
advantage?
yeah, like that, like it was like they had hot, like great debate skills. It was kind of like using their intellect to impose their will onto others, and they would like teach about it. And Socrates was like, no, that like like I will like you guys are anti-philosophy. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you guys are anti what we're after. We're after the truth, the good, the beautiful. That's what I'm after. And then he went to war with these like very clever thinkers, and I mean, he won. That's
Mm-hmm.
it. And yeah, and sophistry is alive and well. It's always has been. Just turn on, just listen to a politician talk. There you go. There's a sophist right there. Even though they wouldn't call themselves that.
Snake, snake oil salesman.
Yeah, yeah, essentially. And it's like, yeah, yeah, it's what it is. Like, but oh, with all that being said, I'm gonna give Socrates A+.
A plus.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's tinkering because I wanted off the bat. I was like, oh, S tier, but he did depend on old Plato and Xenophon and others like there others had to document him as a character, especially Plato, and and in a way you could say he was a bit limited, you know, because he's standing like his students that come after are going to be like arguably harder hitters than him,
Mm-hmm.
which is like probably a strong argument. Like I would make that argument myself, actually. And so like in a way, it's like so important, so integral, brilliant. I love him. A+.
A plus.
I'm giving Socrates A+.
Now, I do believe that the not writing down things was actually wasn't that like a motif of his?
If it is, I'm not familiar with it.
Because I think he said it was some. I heard this from my philosophy professor. Over 10 years ago now. It's crazy, but that philosophy cannot be learned through reading; it has to be learned through life.
Yeah. Well, I mean, his teaching wasn't. Yeah, he didn't. He wasn't in a classroom. He was at the agora, talking to whoever would talk to him. The
Mm.
gadfly of Athens. Yeah. So
All right, so we got the A plus.
we got Socrates as an A+.
Let's just
Dragon
go
Ball
down the
Z.
line. Oh, Dragon Ball Z. There we go. Let's
He's
do it.
Master Roshi.
He's Master Roshi. Very
He's where
nice.
it all. And the reason why he's the first. He's where it all started. He's the teacher. His student is gonna become the man, the
Right.
fucking man, and even his students are gonna become
Mm-hmm.
fucking like, oh god,
Heavy hitters.
heavy hitters. And yeah, he started it all, and he's kind of reminds me of like they're kind of similar, like this kind of crazy old guy, you know. Yeah, no, I think Master Roshi, you got he's Socrates for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And oh my goodness, what am I going to call him? You know what? I'm Moses.
I was about to say,
I'm going
he
all the way.
said
I'm
he's
going
like a
all the way.
Moses, you know.
Moses. You
Yeah.
started strong. But yeah, I don't hand that out just easy, but
Right.
you started strong as hell. I thought you were gonna give me like I don't know, like I thought you'd give me like Ben Shapiro or some shit. It's like okay, but yeah, but Socrates, fucking Moses.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we're starting strong.
All right. Next up, we've got Ben Shapiro. No, I'm joking.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna do. Well, he's been on our podcast topically. Let's go Diogenes,
Diogenes.
the dog.
Oh man, you're starting heavy hitters. Oh my goodness, the insane Socrates is what they, like that's what he's. So very like actually similar in a lot of ways. He is the insane Socrates. Yeah. So we're just talking about him. Virtue to the extreme, a complete submission to nature, and his nature is human nature.
Mm.
But okay, I will. Maybe I will knock him a little bit. Is and maybe this is the Aristotle in me. It's like, buddy, you're a bit too unhinged. You're a bit too like everything is antagonism. And I know he means well, but maybe we should have a little prudence. maybe,
Right.
maybe,
Yeah.
maybe we shouldn't spit or scoff at prudence.
I mean,
Even though
literally
I,
spit on people. Yeah.
yes, exactly, yeah, humping people's legs. My goodness, a madman, but brilliant nonetheless. Even Alexander himself said, "If I could be anybody but me, if I could be anybody but the great King Alexander, the man who's going to conquer the known world, I would be Diogenes." And that's that's from maybe the most politically powerful human being on earth. I mean, maybe I don't know,
In the
Genghis
running.
Khan.
Yeah, probably in the
Yeah, I mean,
running.
what do you got? Genghis Khan, Cyrus the Great, maybe Darius. I don't know. I'm not. I'm trying to think like who would match him. You know, uh, your boy Octavian. What does he become?
Mm,
Augustus.
yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
And then just to give a perspective on Diogenes, just with that beautiful line with Alexander, and then Diogenes said, "If I were not Diogenes, I would also want to be Diogenes."
He does say that. That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna give Diogenes a strong A.
Strong A. Fair.
Yeah, yeah, he's an A. If we got like some professor on here and he was like criticizing him, I might drop him to an A minus. But he's in the A. He's an A for sure to me.
Hmm.
Yeah, I give him an A. Dragon Ball Z, I kind of want to say he's Master Roshi too a little bit because
You know,
he's
he's
like,
actually might be more like Master Roshi than Socrates.
you know what? Fuck it, we're doing Damn it, Steven, you're giving me heavy hitters, or you're giving me two very
Hey, you
similar.
could you could right. We said there could be multiple Piccolos. There could be multiple
That's right. Okay.
DBZ.
Yeah. No. Because I was thinking, who else is like a wild like kick? You know what? We're gonna mix it up, just for fun. Just for fun. I'm gonna say he is Yajirobe.
Yajirobe.
Yeah, because Yajirobe's like he's really more Master Roshi. Because just because Yajirobe's like a badass. Like when Yajirobe's in Dragon, because he's like doesn't do shit in Dragon Ball Z. He just hangs out with Corrin all day. But
Right.
in Dragon Ball, dude, he fucking kills. I forget which one. Symbol, like one of Piccolo's sons. And
Mm.
those guys were strong as hell. And he's like a badass fighter, but he like doesn't even care. He's just like, bro, let's eat food and let's hang out. Like he's very like primal. Yeah, fuck it. Let's give him Yajirobe just because
Yeah.
Yajirobe has yeah. Yeah, a strong, a powerful character, a guy, and Yajirobe does, dude. Vegeta would have killed them all if it wasn't for Yajirobe. He cut off his tail, and that was yeah. And then Vegeta proceeds to beat the crap out of Yajirobe, but yeah, but Yajirobe, he's there, dude. He's there hanging out.
He has
Dude,
his moments
Yajirobe.
in DBZ.
Oh, dude, like they would all be dead. It would have ended at the Saiyan saga if it wasn't for Yajirobe. So we're gonna say Yajirobe. He gets he deserves more credit, just as our boy Diogenes deserves more credit. He's Yajirobe, an A tier Yajirobe, and I'm gonna say this is kind of ironic. I'm gonna give him an ironic. I'm gonna say because he's a cosmopolitan, of a citizen of the world. He doesn't even really. I don't think he really believes in governments or anything. So for the sheer irony, nationalist.
He's a nationalist.
Nationalist. Even though he's probably going to really be anti-nationalist, but I'm
Mm.
giving him a nationalist just for the irony of it.
All right. Let's go ahead with, I believe, your former boy Nietzsche.
You're all right. You're all right, my former boy. And you know what? It's funny. I went from like loving Nietzsche when I was super big into existentialism. He's the man. And then I went to like fuck this guy. I fucking can't stand him. Now I'm like, you know what? He makes some good points. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Like I wouldn't say he's my favorite. Definitely not my favorite. But like, goddamn, was that dude brilliant? And he makes fascinating points. Uh, a lot of his concepts. He spends a lot of his time critiquing, which I think this is one thing about philosophy I've come to understand is that in philosophy it's a lot easier to be on the front foot attacking than it is to defend. So it's easier to attack
Mm,
ideas than to defend. It's like, like say in a sport, like, certain sports, like, I would like basketball. I think it's easier to be offensive than defensive, just based on, I would assume, because they score so much, you know.
you there, Jared? Well, everybody, it looks like we're going to have to conclude the prototype podcast for the Transparent Cult. It couldn't have ended any better way than cutting out. And we'll see you guys next time.